This video is provided for general safety awareness and educational discussion only. It does not constitute professional training, certification, or instruction, and does not replace manufacturer guidelines, workplace safety programs, or regulatory requirements. Viewers are responsible for their own safety, equipment selection, and compliance. Exquisitemad, does not assume responsibility for injuries, damages, or outcomes resulting from the use or misuse of any information discussed. In this safety module, we're going to be talking about safety data sheets and safety data sheets awareness. Safety awareness only for auto detailing safety. The focus is understanding what safety data sheets in SDS, also known as SDS, are, why they matter, and how they support informed safety awareness in detailing and polishing environments, without providing regulatory or procedural instruction. Purpose of this module: many injuries and exposure incidents occur because SDS information is ignored, misunderstood, or never reviewed. This module addresses awareness, not compliance, emphasizing SDS as a risk recognition tool, not paperwork. What is an SDS? What an SDS is: high-level awareness. An SDS is a standard document that communicates known hazards and safety considerations associated with the chemical product. Awareness points: SDS information is hazard-focused, not marketing. Every chemical product must and should have a SDS available. SDS content applies regardless of brand familiarity. Familiarity with a product does not eliminate its risk. Why SDS awareness matters. SDS documents exist to help identify risk before exposure occurs. The awareness points are identifying potential health hazards, highlights exposure pathways, example given, inhalation, skin, and eye contact. It communicates risks that may not be obvious during use. Many hazards are cumulative or delayed, not immediate. Key sections to be aware of. While SDS documents contain multiple sections, professionals should be aware that SDS information commonly addresses health and exposure risk, required personal protective equipment, also known as PPE, first aid considerations, handling and storage concerns, environmental and disposal considerations. This module does not instruct viewers on how to apply or follow SDS guidelines, only that these sections exist and carry meaning. Common misunderstanding about SDS. Awareness points. Something to think about. Things to think about. Low odor, meaning that it doesn't have that much of a smell. Low odor does not mean low risk. Professional use does not mean safe without protection. Mixing products can change hazard profiles. Repeated exposure is often more harmful than a single contact. SDS information is often ignored until after an incident. SDS and long-term exposure. SDS documents often reference risk that develop over time. Awareness points: chronic respiratory exposure, skin sensitization, long-term health considerations. Long-term effects are easy to dismiss because they are not immediate. SDS awareness is a professional responsibility. Understanding risk begins before product use. SDS documents are not warnings meant to stop work. They are tools meant to inform safer decisions. This is an example of the sections that are common in a SDS document. Section 1 is identifying. The first section of an SDS is devoted to identifying the lubricant and listing the lubricant or whatever chemical it is and listing its intended use. This section also identifies other names that the chemical might be known as and must also contain the lubricant or the product's suppliers, essential contact information. The recommended use portion of this section describes the purpose or function of the chemical, although the product's data sheet will be more comprehensive in describing the applications of performance properties. Common subsections include product use, product numbers, company information, transportation, emergency contact, health emergency contact, technical information contact. Another section that you may see is hazards identification. This section states the hazard classification of the lubricant or chemical. They're using lubricant as an example in this infographic here. The chemical, along with pictograms, precautionary advice for hazards that are not classified, a description is provided. For hazards that are not classified, a description is provided. These are the different classifications. Common subsections include classifications, chemical, physical, health, environmental hazards, label elements, precautionary statements for prevention and disposal. Section 3. Composition information, ingredients. Section 3 lists the ingredients including stabilizing additives and impurities of which the product is composed. In this section, the mixtures are further explained. Additionally, if a chemical is subject to a trade secret claim, the amount of that chemical within the lubricant must be stated here. Common subsection includes table listing including components, CAS number, and amount percentage. If you look here, useful facts. Section 3, composition information on ingredients. This can be helpful in determining specifics about the base oil type and the additives. So if you have a product, it's going to talk about the base and then the additives. Everything that's in that chemical. For example, the table below shows the highly refined mineral oil at 70 to 99% weight. They're using oil here, a lubricant oil, as an example. Chemical abstract, mineral-based oil. When available, chemical abstract services CAS numbers listed for the component can be searched using an online chemical lookup search engine for details about the type of base additive, about the base oil or additive used in a specific amount. Section 15, regulatory information, may also have ingredient information with the CAS numbers. This is the numbers here. This is the amount. It's the components. Example of ingredient information available in Section 3, the safety data sheet. Come here, Section 4. If exposure to hazardous chemical occurs, this section lays out necessary first aid steps required by responders. This section also contains descriptions of the symptoms and effects of exposure. Common subsections include inhalation, skin contact, eye contact, and inhalation. Section 5. This section describes how to proceed if the firefighting measures is what's in Section 5. The section describes how to proceed if a lubricant that they're using an example or a chemical combust, including recommendations of extinguishing material and equipment as well as hazards born out of the chemical-specific fires. This section also includes recommendation for special firefighting equipment. Common subsections include extinguishing media, firefighting instructions, hazardous combustion products, flammability properties. Section 6, accidental release measures. If the chemical, they're using a lubricant here as an example, again, if a chemical is spilled or leaked, this section should be referred to for both contaminant measures and cleanup process. These measures may vary based on the volume of the spill. Also included in the sections are recommendations for cleanup materials such as absorbents and protective equipment. Common subsections include notification procedures, protective measures, spill management, environmental precautions. Section 7, safe handling and storage. Safe handling and storage of lubricants and chemicals are important for both safety and for chemical health. And In this instance, they're talking about lubricants. This section outlines how lubricants should be, or chemicals, should be properly handled and measures that can be taken to prevent accidental release during storage. Common subsections include handling and storage. Section 8, exposure controls based on potential material hazards. This section outlines exposure limits and engineering controls. Personal protective measures are also recommended. Common subsections include exposure limit values, engineering controls, personal protection, and environmental controls. Section 9, physical and chemical properties. Section 9. This section describes the physical and chemical properties of a lubricant, what they're using here, or any chemical, and ways that the chemical can be identified, including appearance, odor, viscosity, flammability, etc. It is noted that in this section that information is provided for safety, health, and environmental considerations only and may not fully represent product specifications. Rather, referencing the product data sheet or contacting the supplier would elaborate more on performance information and recommended use. Common subsections include general information, important health, safety, and environmental information. Section 10, stability and reactivity. This section includes details of hazards associated with the chemical stability and reactivity potential. The reactivity section must include chemical test data. The chemical stability section must indicate whether a chemical is stable or unstable under normal conditions and lists potential stability safety concerns. There may also be information about conditions or materials to avoid, such as excessive heat, high energy sources, or strong oxidizers. Section 11, toxicology information. Toxicological effects information is usually listed in the table listing out the hazard classes and conclusions for each. Hazard classes include inhalation, ingestion, skin, eye, sensitization, aspiration, germ cell mutation, carcinogenicity, and more. Section 12, ecological information, non-mandatory. This section describes the potential impact that a release of a chemical into the environment would have. Section 13, disposable considerations. This is non-mandatory. Information regarding the proper disposal, recycling, or reclamation process of the chemical will be stated in this section. Section 14, non-mandatory, transport information. This section includes transport considerations, including guidance regarding bulk transportation and necessary special precautions. Section 15, regulatory information, non-mandatory. This section is a catch-all for safety and environmental regulations not listed elsewhere in the data sheet. Section 16. This final section typically includes information about the safety data sheet itself, including when it was created or last updated. Other information deemed useful can also be included in this section. This concludes this module. This content is provided for general safety awareness and educational discussion only. It does not constitute training, certification, licensing, or authorization of any kind. No Exquisitemad methods, processes, systems, techniques, or proprietary workflows are taught, disclosed, licensed, or implied through this content. Viewers assume all responsibility for their actions, equipment use, and compliance with manufacturer and structures, workplace safety requirements, and all applicable laws. Exquisitemad expressly disclaims responsibility for injuries, damages, losses, and outcomes resulting from the use or misuse of information presented in this module and in this training course.